I will admit that now I've seen her fighting, despite my criticisms of her tiny physique, I am wearing Galga goggles. She's hot.
Sorry. All right, guys, we got day versus night, God versus man, Batman v Superman. You've had a week to see it. We're going in full spoilers. Welcome to Canadian Nerd Talks. Full review. I'm here with the best group of people you can possibly have to talk about this movie with. So let's dive right in.
Hi, I'm Rob. I'm a comics book fan since a long time ago. I had the original Spider-Man Gets Married to Mary Jane comic and then promptly wrote in the crossword puzzle and ruined the resale value. But I'm also a fan of DC when the story is interesting, like in the Dark Knight trilogy. So I gave Batman vs. Superman a shot over the last weekend.
Hi, I'm Michael Chan. I'm an actor from Toronto. I've been a comic book fan since I was a kid. My first comic was Superman. And when I was 10 years old, I read The Killing Joke. I've been traumatized since.
All right, guys, that's great. Let's get into then general opinions of what we thought of the movie. Rob, I'll start off with you.
Okay, I heard a lot of fan backlash about little details in the movie that they would have preferred to be different. Overall, I thought it was a good movie. The Batman parts were cool, even though some of his motivations weren't necessarily clear. But as a movie, it was a good movie.
And me? I'm kind of middle of the road. Overall, I did enjoy the experience. I did enjoy the movie, but there were a lot of problems that made me not enjoy it as much as I really wanted to. When
it came down to the movie, I came out jaw dropped and ecstatic. Thought about it a little bit, but then saw it again for a second viewing. And a lot like other people who've seen it again for a second viewing, you really get to take it in. And overall, it's one of my favorite movies this year. I understand there are some gripes and some issues with it, but not enough for me as a fan of film and a fan of the comic book characters to hate it and give it a low score. So for me, it's really high. Let's dive into spoilers because as we said before, this movie's been out for a week now. You've had your chance to see it. There's no point of holding back anymore. So even just now, as I said, we're gonna talk about spoilers. Superman dies. There we go. It's out of the way.
Yep. Yes,
so
he does.
What are some things about the film that you guys felt like maybe didn't work?
I felt this was kind of like Terrio versus Goyer, Dawn of Darkseid.
The writers.
Yeah, exactly. Because the movie was very choppy, so there was some clear editing issues. There was some timing issues. They just did not use their time well. There's a main thread going through the movie that they chopped up about, and the main thread's about two humans who see this alien, and each of them is scared, maybe even jealous of the alien, and deal with it in their own way. But that thread got chopped up, and I liked the thread. But then they threw it all over the place and threw in Dawn of Justice aspects as well. So to me, I feel like there were two stylistic writing differences going on in there. It's almost like a struggle between these two writers and maybe even the studio, I don't know.
So it was the writing that was the main issue?
It was a writing issue, but I mean, 20 minutes into the film, there's a lot of quick cuts. And I felt like, okay, these are introductory scenes that are typical of the beginning of the movie. 1 hour in, the movie was still doing this. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a long movie, maybe. 2 hours in, they were still doing it. I'm like, okay, it should not feel like the beginning of the movie.
Got you. Okay, so right there we have writing and then some of the editing. And I want to throw that out to you guys. For the people that have negative thoughts about the movie, do you think it was a pacing issue or an editing issue, or very much more on the writing itself and there being conflicting writers taken apart in this movie? How about you, Rob?
One small point, Jeremy Irons is a fine actor. Didn't care for him as Alfred. He's a little too young for the part, in my opinion.
That's interesting because a lot of people liked him.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's interesting.
Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, I have this idea of Alfred. He's got gray hair. He's got like the bow tie and the suit, and he's like the animated series Alfred, and then he just wasn't that, so I wasn't expecting it. He wasn't in the movie that much, so it's not a big deal, but I thought that was a small weakness.
Yeah.
The other thing, as I mentioned earlier, the motivation for Batman isn't very clear. Like, yeah, you see him go back to his office building and somebody there that he kind of cares about, but I don't even know who
Jack?
it is.
Yeah.
It's Jack. Who's Jack?
Well, I don't know if Jack was a character in the comics. I'm sure people can let us know. But I always kind of just went with it's the person that also runs his company when
Right,
he's
and
not
sure,
there.
but I didn't get to know him, so
Gotcha.
I don't
No,
care
and
that
I
he
understand
died
that.
with
Yeah.
hundreds of other people,
Yeah.
and maybe Bruce cared really a lot about him. But if it were Alfred who died, okay, kill Superman.
All right, no, those are excellent points. Let's get into a negative thing that a lot of people have been having issues with, especially comic book fans, is the portrayal of the two characters of Batman and Superman within this one film that a lot of people have been waiting their whole lifetime to see, and now it's finally here. And it was really down the middle. So how do you guys feel of the portrayal of Batman and Superman within this film, relating to maybe the lack of Superman, or even going more towards maybe the fact that Batman kills in this movie?
You take Superman, I'll take Batman.
Yeah, let's do that.
You go first.
Dynamic duo. Yeah. Okay, Superman. Well, you got to start at the source. As I've mentioned in a previous episode of Talks that you should definitely watch, I'm not a fan of Man of Steel. I just absolutely did not like that movie. And it's because I felt that Superman just wasn't Superman anymore. At his core, no matter what his origin, no matter how he was raised, no matter where he landed, no matter what planet he landed on, where he was raised, he is a good person inside. And the character I saw in Man of Steel is not good. He is not good at all. He really didn't care as much about the people as we want to believe he did. Okay, he goes and he punches Zod into the building. Okay, fine, I could maybe forgive that. But throwing Zod into the building when there's people still inside, and I'm pretty sure there's people still inside, that's unacceptable.
Well, they kinda
but the
showed that in
biggest,
BVS.
yes, but the biggest part is the spaceship filled with Kryptonian babies. Dude, there's no reason for him to kill all of those babies. He could have sent them to another planet to then, have a new civilization.
Okay.
And you have the City of Kandor.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, they had their chance. No, he's Superman. He finds every way to save every life possible, and that is not who he is.
Okay, Rob, how about you and Batman?
One of the reasons I let you go first is that it's more important for Superman to be good than Batman. So I'm willing to let this shift into a positive. Batman kills people. Batman shoots people with guns. Batman drives into people with his car, and he doesn't care. I don't mind that because Zack Snyder gets his own version of Batman. Christopher Nolan had a version. Zack Snyder gets a version. You can change things if you ground it well enough.
Right.
Nobody buys that you can't kill bad guys. Why wouldn't you?
I like both your guys' points on each character there, and they're both very good and passionate. So actually talk about passion and maybe some lighter things. What are the positives? What are things that we really enjoyed in this film? I know for me, the main one is Wonder Woman herself. Being the kind of nerd that I am, man, I don't even feel ashamed saying this. She was like my first love, okay? Seeing Wonder Woman on a comic book, I was like, oh my gosh, every woman in my life is, this is the archetype for them. And so to finally see this movie and to finally see her portrayed in live action, it almost made me cry in a sense, just to finally see it. Both her as Diana Prince, and then when she does finally show up and saves Batman in such a spectacular way of using her bracelets there to block Doomsday's blast. It was the fact that she's a girl, a woman, that's not afraid to get hit. You see that when she gets punched in the face by Doomsday, and she goes flying back, and she just has that smirk.
That smirk made that fight.
Yeah,
man. That was awesome.
That's it. Because I've been doing this for hundreds of years. There's there's that aspect of it. Is even in the just the talking scenes with her and Bruce Wayne. When talking, and she holds her own when they're there at the museum and he's showing her the sword of Alexander the Great, and then Bruce comes on in and he's acting all big. He's like, oh yeah, just so you know, it's big, the real thing. And she's like, yeah, and the Sultan of Versailles. I know, buddy. Okay, you don't impress me. I know.
I found the scenes when she was Diana to be more compelling than her scenes being badass fighting Doomsday.
All right, that's interesting.
Especially her interactions with Bruce Wayne. I mean,
Yes.
there was some major chemistry going on there. And I don't mean romantic. I mean,
exactly,
the actors had something going, and they were able to capitalize on whatever was going on there and have an amazing acting moment.
And that's why they picked Gal, because they did chemistry tests, and out of the hundreds of applicants and people who came in for auditions, those two had the best chemistry.
Right.
The cameos of the other Justice League members were a little short.
Okay.
But they were cool to see, like, here's where he's gonna come in and here's a vision of this guy, and I like that.
I like you more than Mike now, because that was one of my favorite parts, was the cameo.
I never said that I didn't like them.
Okay.
Hey, by the way, anybody notice that the cyborg scene looked like a Disney ride? You know, here's my son on this thing over here.
Why does everyone say that? I thought it looked fine. Everyone's like, it looks like a CW short. But like,
No, it's a ride at Disney. You know, you get into the car, chase down Cyborg, right? And then partway through the chase, he jumps on your cart and he's like, I'm going to destroy you. Oh no, there's an alien. Help me.
This is how you know we're real nerds. Are there any other positives you found within the film?
I'm willing to give up my nerd cred card for this, but
Okay.
Ben Affleck is a good actor and he's a good Batman. I like him.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
And he wasn't given a lot to work with, in my opinion, that motivated him, like I
Okay.
told you. But the stuff he did well. I like him as Batman. I want to see him as Batman again. I thought that was a positive.
Lex Luthor, portrayed by Jesse Eisenberg. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Did you like it? Did you hate it?
He's younger than you imagine he should be.
Yeah.
He's got hair
Yeah.
until the end,
Yeah.
which is fine. They set up that kind of thing all the time.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a bit of quirk to him. He's Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor.
Yep.
And I like Jesse Eisenberg. I like Lex Luthor.
Cool. What about you, Mike?
I feel people look at Lex Luthor. They have these preconceived notions of what the character is based on, say, comic books, other portrayals of him. He's an older man, you know, bald, whatever.
Bryan Cranston type.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what they got was Jesse Eisenberg being Mark Zuckerberg on crack.
Okay.
Which, you know what?
Some people even say more like a Max Landis almost.
Yeah.
In a sense,
Hey,
yeah.
that actually works.
Which I appreciate Max Landis.
I like Max Landis. But here's the thing. I have no problem with that. We've seen the other portrayals. What is wrong with having a brand new one that is different? There is nothing wrong with that. It's just new. Just like how they went completely different with Superman, right? He's not Superman to me. How they kind of went different with Batman too, right? Now he's killing, he's not happy anymore and all that stuff. They've gone and taken a risk and done something new and something that I appreciate with Lex Luthor.
All right, guys, let's jump right into it. Spoiler territory here. The death of Superman. Everyone's been talking about it. Some people are really negative about it. Other people, like myself, really enjoy it because I feel like it's going to open up this DC extended universe to unknowns. We can get other stories from Brainiac and Kandor to a whole bunch of other stuff here.
I'm genuinely positive about it because, like you, I see this as an opportunity for them to do something else with Superman. I mean, now that he's gone, they can, I don't know, semi-reboot? Not a full reboot. I wouldn't buy that at all.
I wouldn't
but
use
maybe,
reboot.
Yeah, maybe reboots. Just maybe he comes back and there's just something
There's an evolution.
different. Exactly.
Yeah.
He evolves, he grows maybe. God knows where he's going to be while he's dead.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll come back with a mullet and it's Nicolas Cage.
Superman lives, great.
I know a little bit about the history of Superman. I know what he can do and what he can't do, and I know that Doomsday killed Superman.
Yeah.
If Doomsday is in your movie and he doesn't kill Superman, now we're mad that they're sticking to a plot point instead of changing it. Like, I'm on board with that because that's kind of what I know, and I'm happy with some of the other changes. Not completely, because I agree with some of your points about Superman, but this one is as close to what a general audience knows about Doomsday at all.
Yeah.
Somebody killed Superman. Was that the guy? Was he the guy in the comics who killed Superman? You ask your nerd friend, he goes, yeah, but it was totally different. I don't care. At least I got
saw it.
something.
All right, guys, so we did a poll over on Twitter asking you guys if you saw Batman v Superman, what did you think? 20% of you thought it was terrible, and that really hurts. We also had 40% that said it was okay, and after we had 27% of you guys that said it was pretty good. And then we also had 13% that said world's finest, which is skyrocketed in the air. You absolutely loved it. Overall, with 40%, you guys saying that it was okay, that's good enough for me. Okay, so score-wise, guys, do you want to do it out of 10 or out of 5? Which one?
10's good.
10's good?
10's
okay.
good.
Okay, so out of 10, Mike,
Yeah.
what do you give Batman v Superman?
I give 6.5.
Okay, all right.
I'm currently hovering between 7.5 and 8, so I'm going to stick with 7.5.
Yeah.
Watch it again, maybe
Nice.
bump it up later.
Yeah, no, a second viewing I feel like is really nice, and you should see it if you are a fan of this. Me, myself, when I first walked out, I gave it an 8.5. I was just a huge super nerd about it. Thought about it, 7.8. But now, after seeing it for a second time, I'm sticking to an 8. I really, really liked this film. Again, I feel like you should see it yourself, come with your own opinions, and just take in the movie. Don't listen to what other people are saying. You know, think about it afterwards, but definitely just take it in and allow the story to feed in and everything else, and just appreciate what you see in front of you. All right, guys, so that was it. Our spoiler-filled review of Batman v Superman. Leave your score and comments down below and let us know what you thought. Also, stay tuned for next week. We got Facts of Fandoms, and also the week after that, Canadian Nerd Plays. From all of us here at the Canadian Nerd, thanks for watching. We absolutely appreciate it.
Ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding, ding.
And we'll catch you guys next time. Whoa.
Perfect.